Today is Saturday, May 24th, 2025. It's a rainy, kind of not great day. It's actually not currently raining where we are. We're in Maine today, and we're gonna go out and do Wheeler Brook Trail. We're parked on the side of Route 2. It says 3.5 miles, so it's gonna be an out and back. There's a spot for few cars, maybe 3 or 4 cars along the side of Route 2 right here. And I think a little ways down there's another pull-off that you could put some cars in. And yeah, this is just kind of a trail to do. It doesn't go up any mountains. It does walk along Wheeler Brook for some of it, and it has forest roads on both ends. So we're going to start heading out. We're basically going southbound, or I guess it's southwest. And nobody else is here. Don't expect to see anyone else today. We drove by Appalachia Trailhead though, and it was pretty full. So I'm a little surprised. It's snowing up on Mount Washington, I believe. And saw this morning they had 6.5 inches of snow in the last 24 hours. They're socked in and it's gross. I don't know. Wouldn't want to be up there, but a good day to go out and do some new trails for us. We're about a half a mile in, and we did one crossing so far on Wheeler Brook. It was just kind of right around the corner there, and then as the trail comes up along the side here, you could look out and see this cascade and that cascade. There's a higher one right there. So we took a little herd path off to the side just to check it out. The trail is about 30 feet away, 25 feet away, right up there. Okay, and we're gonna be crossing, I think, 4 times. So first one was easily rock hopped with poles. You had to make a long stretching jump, not a jump, but I like having poles for it. It was not a simple walk across, but it wasn't particularly difficult. Okay, keep going. This is the second water crossing, and the trail comes out right here, and this kind of is a big drop right there. So we came a little bit this way and then came down this way right through here. Again, it was all good except maybe like the last jump. Where did I come through? I think I came through over here. This also would be doable, but again, kind of a long stretch without poles. Some scat. I don't know what that is. All right, so we are still making our way up here, and as you can tell, footbed is great, but it could use some brushing. Ooh, I just walked through a spider web. Yeah, this is Maine. I don't know who maintains these trails, but probably doesn't get a ton of usage anyway. So it's been easy to follow, but it could use some brushing. And on a wet day, that's kind of annoying, but that's all right. This is the 4th water crossing, I believe, and it was pretty straightforward. The trail comes from right along here, and I crossed, I kind of came out into that red rock here, and then through. John did something else, like came up along here. We had a water crossing right before this that was much narrower, but it was not great. Like, if there were lower water, you would just be able to walk across. There was a big flat rock, but it was between 1 and 3 inches submerged. And then from there, you had to kind of make a little bit of a sketchy step. It was not great. And the way you did it was even sketchier. So it didn't look like much of a crossing. Like, this one is wider, but the other one was not good. So hopefully I'm counting right. I'm not sure if the first one that we did was one of the 4. It might have been a tributary. But either way, we're getting it done. Wearing waterproof socks. My feet feel totally wet. So I don't know what to say about that, but they're insulated, so they're warm. And we're getting into some young beech trees here and hobble bush. So it's definitely could use a brushing. There's a nice little water feature right there. We're coming up to the height of land. It's really been almost like an abandoned trail in some spots. Yeah. It's really not seen any maintenance lately. Ooh. Water bars are filled, lots of blowdowns, and there was a section of new growth that was like 4 to 5 feet tall, blocking the whole trail. So that tells me nobody's brushed it in a couple years. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Looks like one person has been out ahead of us this season, and that's it that I can see. Whew. We're approaching the height of land now, and then it'll be descending to the other trailhead, which is on Little Larry Road. I don't see a blaze. Okay. I saw some blazes at the beginning.
It looks light. It's off on the left here.
No, that's not a blaze. The blazes looked like they were yellow, but had faded to cream color. But again, I only saw those at the very beginning. Like maybe just on the road part of it. I don't know. Oh, I'm hot. It was raining and it's not raining. But all this vegetation is super wet. Yeah. So I've been pushing through wet pants. Gotta love it. There's some hobble bush. Still saw some red trilliums blooming. And just one lady slipper right near the trailhead. That was it. No painted trilliums. I think they like higher elevation. All right. Sounds like we're getting away from the water now too. So hopefully we'll be heading down. And I think the elevation gain coming back is like half. Whew, I hope so. All right, you can barely tell it's a trail. Look at that. We're about a half a mile from the western trailhead. And I would say this side of the mountain has a totally different feel from, not mountain, but you go up to a height of land and then you start descending. So this side is like all beech trees. It's been, I think this side is muddier.
This side?
Yeah. I don't know. They're both pretty muddy. This is, we've had more issues. I'll take those. Sorry. We've had more issues following the trail up here, I think, than on the other side. There was a place a little ways back behind us where there was a blowdown, and when you go around it, you end up looking at a skidder road, which is right up along here, and you lose the trail completely because there was a section of these small beeches that were growing up right in the middle of the trail. Like it was completely obscured. So that would be a place where, if you're not paying attention, you might just walk down the skidder road because you know there's a road at both ends, and we're kind of getting into that area. So luckily, Sean had his wits about him and checked his Gaia and said, I don't think that's where we want to be. So I'm not sure. Maybe it would connect back up. I don't know. In any case, you can see there's like, this is the trail. We've had lots of sections of this, which is just like a pool of water, and there's leaves on everything. Lots of mud, and just tons and tons of blowdowns. This is really the first one we're clearing because most of them you can like duck under. You don't have to walk around, but clearly there's nobody maintaining this trail at all, and very few people using it. So it's just, woo, I was just almost wiped out on those leaves. It's just been interesting. It's a good trail for a rainy day, I guess. I mean, this is just straight up mud. My feet stayed dry on the way up, except when I had to do that water crossing where I submerged my foot, kind of. But I kind of gave up right around the height of land. It got really nasty. My feet are totally soaked, even though I'm wearing quote-unquote waterproof socks. I believe this is the trail right here. It's hard with these open woods because there's like lots of little areas that look like they could be the trail because there's just leaves everywhere. I haven't seen any water bars anywhere or any kind of trail work. Got that water. Gotta love that. All right, so next thing should be the trailhead. And then we'll turn around and do it all over again. We are coming down this end of the trail. So we just came out up there. We're coming down this nice wide road that has a little bit of growth on it, but nothing terrible. And I saw this, which I believe is the spine and maybe the part of the upper jaw of a moose. And it still has some flesh in between its vertebrae here, so it must be from this season. See? Look at that. Neato. I've been looking everywhere for an antler, and there was a little bit of moose activity on this trail, but not tons. So no antler, but that's pretty cool. Poor moose. All right. Well, that's kind of exciting because there's not really a lot to see.
That was super cool, actually.
Yeah, there's not a lot to see here. I didn't see any hair or anything.
Oh,
Like,
that's old.
you know, it still had flesh in its vertebrae. Yeah, I don't know how long that. Those pads between were still there. I don't know. We saw a dead moose once up at the summit of East Kennebago, I think. Also in Maine, but way further in. And that one had like all the long bones were still there. I think all of the skull was there, and it had a lot of hair around it. And it had been deceased like in the middle of the winter. And I think we went up there in August. It still had a lot of stuff. So maybe John's right. Maybe it is quite old. I was surprised to see those pads in there though. But maybe they take a lot longer to break down. I don't know if that's cartilage. I don't know. Anyway, that was cool. Finishing up right now. This is the Western Trailhead. I think you could park probably 8 or 10 cars down here pretty easily. Just like a big open field there. This is part of the snowmobile area, so I don't know if it had a number on that like it was a trail. Gate is open. There's some tire marks that are fresh. Whoops. There's a nice water crossing here. And then the trailhead sign here. And you just walk on this road a couple hundred feet maybe and take a right. It's got an arrow on it, although it's not the easiest to see. And that'll take you back up to that overgrown road where we found the moose carcass. We're gonna head back now. We're almost back to the trailhead, but there's just one more cascade along Wheeler Brook that has a herd path out to it, and we didn't go out on the way up, so we're looking at it now. It's right off trail. It goes down to a nice pool right there. And then it continues with a bigger waterfall down there where we stopped on the way up. So we just came down. I think we were right looking at that one a second ago. And then we popped down over here and came out and we could see this, but we couldn't really see up. So we came around and came down here. And now you get the whole shebang. Going up that way. Coming around, there's like a little gorge-like flume area here. And then it drops and continues on. Wheeler Brook, pretty nice. We're like a 1/10 of a mile from the car. When you're coming out, this is the way you come. You don't even really notice that road. I mean, I noticed it, but when you're heading back, it's not marked. So you have to remember which way you came or read the book. I believe it mentions it in the book. So we're gonna go to the right of the fork, and I can hear the cars on Route 2. I just got 7 miles. Should have been 7 miles total. So I'm a little bit long, I think, on my recording. So I wandered a little bit off the track a couple times, but there's a blaze. Very, very lightly blazed. The blazes are not helpful in any way. The places where you have questions, there are no blazes. So I think that's off in the way. And I think we're gonna go try to find a short half-mile loop that shows up on the AMC map, but I don't think I can find it. I haven't found it in the book. I don't know what the heck it is. It shows up on Gaia. It's across the street from the Connor Brook Road entrance of Route 2. I tried to look at it as we drove by today, and I couldn't even see like a parking area there or a trailhead or anything. So I'm not sure what it is. Gaia shows a section of land right near it that's labeled Native American Reburial Ground. I have no idea if that's what that is. We're gonna go see if we can find it. If I do find it, I'll add video. If I don't find it, what can I say? This was a nice hike for a rainy day because there's no views on it except the brook. So it was okay. It poured on us for a while there. I don't have a reason to come back and do this trail again. There's a lady slipper. Very few lady slippers. There's another couple right there. Okay, so there's a few lady slippers. They're right at the beginning on this side, the Route 2 side. This trail doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't connect to other trails. I don't know. It was pleasant. I think the best part of it was just the waterfall stuff in the first mile.
Yep.
So if you're into looking at cascades, they're not the greatest cascades, but they're pretty good. It was worth coming out and doing. There's a couple lady slippers. Let's see. There's a pinkish one and a whitish one. And I see our car. All right. Okay, so we are parked. This is the border with Maine right here. And this is the Connor Brook Road. It says Shelburne North Trailhead, but actually, as we know from our last hike, it's not. It's further down that road. But there's like a dirt road here. There's one other car parked. And we're gonna go do this little loop right here, which John tells me is called
Bill Hastings.
the Bill Hastings Memorial Trail. So we're just gonna cross the street and go do that. I'm not sure what this Native American reburial ground is. Sounds intriguing. But there's one other car here, and we're off. Okay, so this is the loop, and you walk, if you go straight out first, it takes you to a picnic table and a bench and the Androscoggin River. I wonder if you can, if there are fish, if you could do some fishing here.
No rock hopping across this.
No. There it is. And then the loop is gonna turn to the left up there. Actually, it looks like it had something here at some point, but that's not it. It's a tiny little bench. Hastings Memorial Forest. And the loop continues on. Ugh, getting hit by this tree. I'll continue on here and loop back around to the beginning. All right, that might be the only thing of note on this trail. Coming along the edge of the Androscoggin now. We've had a lot of rain lately. As you can see, there's a double blaze on this really cool stand of trees. And that's the trail. I can see it right over there. So I think that I can see people have gone like that. So I guess I'm gonna do that because that is feet deep. That's just crazy. I mean, I don't know if this will even ever dry out. Oh, those ferns are under the water. All right, we'll see what happens. Right. We're just finishing up this loop, and this area is like completely open. It's crazy, and Route 2 is right there, and there's a train track that runs between us. Oh, look, there's a hunting blind right there. See it? Right here, up in the tree. Maybe he was putting that up. There are moose prints in here, like big moose prints, relatively new. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. That is the Bill Hastings Memorial Loop. Short and sweet. We're still in the Bill Hastings Loop, but this is a crazy northern red belt that was probably growing this direction on the tree, and the tree fell, and it just like started putting out little baby ones all over going this way. How cool is that? Wow. Very cool. That's how cool it is. Awesome.